Welcome back to my channel, Pixel Nomad. This week I'm going with a human camera hybrid. I've always been a big fan of the combination of machinery and organic material. I may have inadvertently dived into my psyche where I believe people kind of become what they are passionate about. I don't want the colors and the styles to be too repetitive for my other designs, so I make sure I try different colors this time. I usually go a little bit darker and a little bit more detailed with my designs like this, but this is for a company they plan on using for designs on t-shirts, so I have to dial it down a little bit. If I drew myself, I would have a computer monitor for a head and pencils for fingers. I plan out the rough drafts with the first layout. I'm not putting too many details and layers of colors for this one. I know that this is going to be printed out on a shirt later, so I need to make sure that it's readable. The rough drafts and the layouts are actually the easiest part for me. And there's something thoroughly enjoying about cleaning up the lines, seeing it all come together. Next is the color layout. I start off by writing the letters I want to be on the shirt with the text layer. Later on, I'll be warping it. I also want to represent all types of ethnicities and different colors of skin and different types of style of clothing. The warping feature will allow me to contour the texts to the shirt and the body shape. I'm going with two different text styles to kind of shake things up. It's very important that you organize and label all of your layers, at least most of them. Trust me when I say it gets a little bit annoying when everything is labeled the same with just numbers next to them. I'll also utilize groupings for like things or sections of the drawings. It just becomes easier to look things up and edit them and move things around and change the colors for each little thing instead of the whole drawing altogether. For the camera lens, I'm going with the same palette as the shirt as a way to complement itself. Inside the camera lens, you'll see layers upon layers of different highlights and shadows. That's how glasses reflect light. While I use an actual camera as reference, I'm staying away from any logos or any defining features of an actual product. I don't want to have any copyright claims against me. Again, I'm using the lasso tool as a way to add the layers of shadows and highlights. It's just easier to manipulate it on its own separate layer. When I get into the shading part of the drawing, I have to remember that the shading also adds to the contours of all the body parts. It's not just the outlines of the drawing itself. You have to make sure that the shadows follow the lines of the knuckles, of the fingers, of the arm, of the torso. It helps add to the thought that it's not just a 2D flat object, it's 3D. Shadows will reflect differently when things are a little bit matte versus when they are shiny like metal or plastic. Can't forget about the shadowing of the inside of the lens as well. My goal at this point is just to get the shadows in place. Later on, I will adjust the colorings to make sure things are a little bit more readable behind the shadows. You can tell that the words in the shirt kind of start to get hidden. But that's okay, one step at a time for me. For some of the mechanical and sharper points of the camera, I'll shadow first and then use the lasso tool to clean it up, make things a little bit more harder and sharper. For that, I'm using the stroke feature of the layer. Then I'll rasterize the text layer, and then I will clean up the lines on the outside. This is one of the last things I'll do for the whole drawing. You start with a bigger picture and you kind of go inside deeper and deeper, getting more and more detail. There's no point adding details if the drawing itself in general doesn't look good. You end up wasting time with a bunch of detail, only to find out that a composition for the whole thing doesn't look right. Then you just have to scrap the whole thing and start over. Here I'm adjusting the hue of the letters to see if they can make them pop out a little bit more, as well as adding some sort of border on the outsides. I'll group everything into a layer called All, where it just easily allows me to manipulate the whole drawing, enlarge it, or put it more center of the picture itself. Presentation is everything. You may have made a good drawing, but I just don't want it to be slapped into the middle of the screen. So I'm creating some sort of border outline. Graphic design makes it convenient for you just to make one little corner, and then you can duplicate it all around the screen. I hope you enjoyed this video and you found it informative. And thanks to those who watched this video. I am trying my best to get better and better in recording and making these things a little bit more interesting. My voice does seem to drone on sometimes. Regardless, thank you for watching, and if you do like these videos, please hit the like and subscribe. I'll be posting them each week. Until next time, this has been Pixel Nomad.